We have seen how illegal immigration into our country can put pressure on our public services and undermine our efforts to create decent work for all.
And then you tell us you are going to dismantle criminal syndicates. How? The criminal syndicates are in your house. How are you going to dismantle them? They are in your living room. How will you dismantle them?
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll speak about a crisis that is testing the soul of our nation. Our president stood in parliament and finally admitted what millions of ordinary South Africans have been screaming for years. Illegal immigrants are putting unbearable pressure on our schools, hospitals, housing, and jobs. But listen carefully to his words, because while he talks about decisive action, the ANC's track record tells a very different story, one of delay, denial, and betrayal. This is not just another political speech. This is about whether South Africa belongs to its own citizens first, or whether we continue surrendering our country piece by piece. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Let's get into it.
As we work to build a safer, more stable, and more prosperous society, we do need to address the challenge of migration. When it is well managed and regulated, migration can help to drive economic growth and opportunity for all. However, we need to deal with illegal migration. We have seen how illegal immigration into our country can put pressure on our public services and undermine our efforts to create decent work for all. As announced in the State of the Nation address, government is taking decisive action to address this challenge. We are cracking down on violations of immigration laws. We are increasing our inspections of workplaces and prosecuting employers who violate our labor laws. We are strengthening, Madam Speaker, we are strengthening border security, stamping out corruption in the immigration system, and closing the loopholes in fragmented immigration laws. We must be clear, however, every person in South Africa, whether they are citizens or foreign nationals, must respect our laws. They must also respect the rights of every person in our country, and our laws must be upheld. We must never give in to violence, to xenophobia, and to vigilantism. As a society, we must stand against all forms of disinformation, of incitement, of false information being spread around, of racism and ethnic mobilization. We will continue to strengthen and enforce our laws while upholding the Constitution of the Republic and also respecting the human dignity of all. This will enable us to deal with illegal immigration without turning against one another.
So let's be honest about what the president said today. He acknowledged that well-managed migration can bring benefits, and that's a fair point. But he also admitted that illegal immigration is straining public services and making it harder for South Africans to find decent work. That part is also true. We see it every single day in our communities. He spoke about cracking down on employers hiring illegals, strengthening border security, stamping out corruption in home affairs, and closing loopholes. On paper, these sound like reasonable steps. But here's the problem. We've heard all these promises before. For over a decade, the ANC has treated border security like a suggestion, not a priority. They allowed porous borders. They allowed home affairs to turn into a corruption factory, and they allowed a broken asylum system that lets people disappear into our society without any proper vetting. Now, suddenly, when communities are angry and protests are growing, they want us to believe they're serious. Funny joke. This is the same government that has failed to maintain law and order. The same government whose cadres have been caught selling permits, forging documents, and looking the other way while criminal syndicates operate with foreign nationals. The same government that watches while some areas in Johannesburg, Pretoria, Durban become no-go zones where South African citizens feel like foreigners in their own land. We are not against all foreigners. Many legal immigrants contribute, obey our laws, and respect our country. We welcome that. But when illegal migration brings drugs, violent crime, human trafficking, and job theft, while our own people sleep in shacks and queue for non-existent jobs, that is not compassion. That is national suicide. The president warned strongly against xenophobia and vigilante violence. Sure, he's right to do so. But South Africans are not animals. We don't want chaos or attacks on these people. But let me speak directly. You can't lecture citizens about violence while you fail to protect them. You cannot demand calm while your government's incompetence creates the very desperation that leads to our anger. People are not angry because they're racist, xenophobic, Afrophobic. No, they're angry because they're unemployed, unsafe, and ignored in their own country. When a government abandons its primary duty to protect its own citizens first, the people eventually take matters into their own hands. That is not a threat, that's just human nature. Late political heavyweight Chris Hani warned us in 1992. He feared that the liberators would become a new elite, driving Mercedes-Benzes and living in palaces while the poor suffer. Look around. Ramaphosa and the ANC have fulfilled that warning perfectly. While they enrich themselves through tenders and state capture, our people fight over scraps. They have no love whatsoever for the poor, only for power and money.
And then you tell us you are going to dismantle criminal syndicates. How? The criminal syndicates are in your house. How are you going to dismantle them? They are in your living room. How will you dismantle them? They are under the sofa. They are in the constitutional and the legal system. They are in the municipalities. They're in the police. I mean, in the defense force, whole caches of arms go missing. How are we running a defense force where people can just break in and steal weapons?
Order, honorable member.
How are we going to do
Honorable
that? So,
Shabalala.
for us,
This is the formula of the ANC. Step 1. Ignore the problem or benefit from it. Step 2. Deny that it exists. Step 3. Gaslight citizens who complain. Step 4. Finally admit it when the pressure becomes too much. Then the final step, do the absolute minimum while still protecting your own interests. We see through all of it. South Africa must come first. Our constitution demands it. Our children's future demands it. We need real border control, physical fences, make it high walls if you need to, technology, proper staffing, and zero tolerance for illegal entry. We need immediate deportation of criminals and those who violate our laws. We need strict workplace inspections and heavy fines for employers who continue to choose cheap labor over South African workers. We need honest numbers on how many illegal immigrants are in our country and what kind of strain they place on our limited resources. And also, we need to be able to have this conversation without being called names. Wanting your country to look after its own people first is not hatred. It is basic common sense and responsible leadership. Fellow South Africans, our patience is not endless. We will not allow our beautiful country to be overrun while our government sits back and watches. We will demand secure borders. We will demand enforcement of our laws. And when the next elections come, we will use the most powerful weapon we have, our vote, to remove those who have failed us for so long. This is our home. This is our land. This is our future. We must protect it with wisdom, with firmness, and with love for our own people. Share this message. Talk about this in your homes, in your workplaces, and in your communities. The time for polite silence is over. Watch the video on your left to see members of parliament exposing a Free State municipality for stealing millions that were meant for service delivery. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Until next time.